You're listening to a podcast on the Podfix Network. Good morning and welcome to Little Bits and Pieces. I'm your host for this episode, Christian Torres. Joining me today, as always, are Jeffrey Fella
and Matt Walker.
And Matt Walker, that's right. We are Walrus, and today's episode of this improv podcast is about multimedia in improv. We're starting with it. That's
straight up. We're not gonna have another goddamn Chaos Emerald piece of shit. Speaking of,
that may not have come out before this episode. We cannot bring that up.
It has. It will.
Okay, fine. Then in that case, I love the Chaos Emeralds. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah,
but they don't love you back because they're not sent.
I want to put a nail in that coffin about the Chaos Emeralds.
Good
you know
luck.
what I mean? The Master Emerald gathers all of them, not necessarily sentiently, not knowledgeably, but it's like chaos wants to return to order, or vice versa.
Entropy, yeah, like the.
Whoa, okay, we're
you know what I mean?
Literary with it. All right.
So if maybe we could all say something about the emeralds.
Well, you just said we're not going to talk about the emeralds, and then you hit hard on the emeralds. You went in deep on the emeralds.
Yeah, that was honestly better than anything I contributed. That's some...
and it was bullshit though. So I guess what you're saying is.
It was thorough analysis that I personally found enriching.
Good. Well, you know what else I find enriching? Multimedia.
Whoa. What a segue.
Yeah, how about you like Christian host for once, huh?
Oh, it was funny.
Well, a good leader knows that sometimes you don't always have to be the one, blazing trails. Sometimes it's enough to recognize an idea and say, yeah, I'm good with that.
But what does a good teammate do?
They're supportive, a good teammate's supportive, and
And what does a good soldier do?
A good soldier follows orders.
What about like a good chef?
A good chef? A good chef never dies.
What about a good shepherd?
A good shepherd shepherds his flock.
This is how the majority of the first part of Plato's Republic goes, is just Socrates saying, like, what is a good sailor like? And then they're like, a good sailor is...
See, I always thought it was like a dodgeball game where it's like Socrates and Plato are on either side. And then he's like, you pick your team and I'll pick mine.
All right, I'll take a sailor. I'll take
That's how you read that?
Plato's, they're like, we need a team name. He's like, the Cave Dwellers.
I played
Cave Dwellers pick first.
I played a game once where I think Plato helped me kill a bunch of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
What game was that?
Yeah, I believe it was Assassin's Creed, and he helped me out. He was like, it was either him or Socrates were on my side, and they were like, you got to go kill these people. And then
those Italian guys.
It's me, Socrates. I love the truth. I love it so much.
You I remember you go to an orgy or something, and then you meet Socrates, and Socrates helps you. And
do you see nudity
and kill a bunch of people? You might, yeah.
Is there nudity in those games?
The newer ones I think have the suggestion of nudity.
Yeah, there's no way you see a penis.
Well, not a penis.
I love the idea that Socrates has like a huge penis.
And it's just like the whole time. But the dialogue is like, yes, I need to kill this
it's like
man.
ragdoll.
It's the only way.
Yeah, ragdoll aesthetics, but it's just on his dick.
And it's a bug. We can't fix it.
I don't remember which one it is, but in one of the Assassin's Creed, Socrates is definitely in it, and he definitely helps you out, and he kill people.
Yeah, but why can't they get rid of that bug? Like, they've done 3-4 different feature updates, and they just...
Every time you go to see Socrates, it gets bigger.
Well, that's not a bug. That's a story feature. That's part of the point.
That's the narrative. Yeah. Yeah, there's... You complete the quest, and there's like a pause, and your guy's like...
So
What's your penis? What's going on down there? And Socrates is like, oh, this whole thing? And then
This
there's like
whole
a
thing.
secret quest. Yeah.
man.
Cure whatever's happening to Socrates.
There are sex
Penis.
scenes. There are sex scenes in that game because I remember there was like you could have sex with people in the game.
Socrates?
I don't know if Socrates was one of them, but it would be like you could like have relations, and then it would like artfully, go to black, and then they would wake up, and it would be like, what good sex we just had.
Oh, I love it as sex. It's so nice.
It's me, Socrates. The sex is nice.
That is
Borat.
that is a line though from one of the Assassin's Creed games. There is a character that says, "It's a me, Mario."
Oh,
Because
funny.
his uncle in the Italian one is named Mario, and so when he shows up, he's like, "Hey, it's me, your uncle Mario." Such it's a reference.
So yeah, what do you think of multimedia? Like, is it good? Like, is it bad?
Like when you utilize it in a show, like in an improv show, how sometimes there'll be different portions of multimedia implemented in a show, in a live show. But you will also have like, video or a presentation or things like that.
I'm going to make a quick comment on how our show has warped. And we're just going to go right back into multimedia.
Yeah, sure.
It's demented insane. And then it's us going, we got to get back on track. Mentioning it. Mentioning the tracks. And then going, anyway, Socrates is dick. Like,
see, but the funny part though, of that though is that the episode is then titled like multimedia and improv.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
and it's always labeled clean, and it's like
it's just like if you were like watching, like, I don't know, if you went to the movies to watch a movie that's like about, I don't even know what it's like. You went to go see an A24 film called like Boyhood, and then you go and you show up, and the entirety of it is Shrek. But then like halfway through, they're like, "Oh, hey, there's a boy also." And it's like, cool. Anyway, what's Shrek up to?
Yeah, it's great. So anyway, back to multimedia. You just got done doing a show that you said was multimedia or whatever.
Yes. So I did a show just the other day that was really fun. That it was a show, and I think you guys have done shows with similar premises before, where there were PowerPoints that were made in advance by other comedians, and then different comedians were presenting them without knowing the context of what was going to come next, having never seen the PowerPoint before.
Christian, do you think that we've done a similar show, or do you know that we've done a similar show?
Well, I do know that, but I'm just, I'm doing a thing to allow you to say, "Oh yeah, we have done a similar show. It was called XYZ." I'm fucking trying to do a fucking show here.
Well, you know what? Yeah, that question was a lot better than what I thought you were going to ask.
Which was what? Have you guys heard of
Socrates' penis again?
Well, I was getting to it because thought and knowledge are two very different things. And when you read what Socrates says about knowledge in the Meno, there's a lot to learn about what we actually know and don't. Can we have true knowledge of a thing? I mean, do you actually know?
Yeah.
So what do you think about? Yeah,
this PowerPoint thing is great. This multimedia. Anyway, Socrates dong. No, we've done that. We did that show. We did that at Eckerd. We had like an open mic night, but it was open PowerPoint night, basically. And people showed up. Like, it was great.
Yeah,
was really
people
fun.
would get on stage, like, and because it wasn't just Matt. Matt and I would do like one, and then some of them were really good. Tyler Lane,
Hands in the Workplace. That was my favorite.
Hands in the Workplace is definitely. It's bizarre how well put together it was. So kudos to Tyler. And then Matt made a couple that were really tasteless, just like, here's a picture of my ding dong, and then it would just be slide after, and you don't expect it because like the title card is like, why I should get a raise or something, like, haha, this is going to be funny. And then it's like, here's why I should get a raise. And then the next like 20 slides are just pictures of his ding dong. But the way Matt would have the computer set up is you can't skip it. You can't exit. You have to go through each slide.
And
So-
Jeff did one on like walls.
Yeah,
It was great.
sure.
The
Yeah,
thing
what was yours?
the one I presented yesterday. Oh, so just a quick plug the show that I did. It was called People Presenting Things, and they do shows started in Dallas and they do shows in New York as well. And this was the first Chicago
Oh,
version of the
cool.
show that we just did the other day. And so the one I presented on was really fun. It was called "I Hate the Pillsbury Doughboy and You Should Too." And so it went through. It was so fun to present. So I had no idea what it was until I clicked through it, and then it's all about the Pillsbury Doughboy
What
and
was
why.
the overall? Because usually the way those work best is there's some sort of that normal sort of narrative, and then there's like a
Right.
subtext running throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. So it was sort of like it was. The fun part about this one is it was kind of like a deep dive into like the details of the
Great.
Pillsbury Doughboy because a lot of lore to him. Apparently, his real name was like Poppin' Fresh, and he has like a whole family and like a whole thing, a whole thing to it. And so it was kind of like a deep dive into like the lore of the Pillsbury Doughboy and why you shouldn't trust him. And so yeah, and I think I came at it very aggressive and manically was sort of my
Was
uh
there
my thing into it. But
was there a lot of content in the PowerPoint, or was
There-
it?
there was a good amount of content in it. I think like just the right amount. Like it was pretty well like designed to like gave me room to like go off of and like
Yeah, okay.
not so much that like it was like all I was reading, but
Yeah.
but definitely enough that there was stuff that I could use and pull from and stuff in really
15
cool ways.
slides.
If I
Probably
had to
about 10 or
guess,
15.
in somewhere in that ballpark, I think I had
Yeah.
like 10 minutes or something.
What, Matt? Do
And
you recognize this
I don't
presentation?
exactly know how.
15 slides. Yeah. What was the title card? What color scheme? Yellow and blue. Yep. I know this one.
Yeah, I know that one.
But in general though, it's like it's interesting I find when you bring in like when you take I think improv in general, I think people think of it as like one thing, it's like a bunch of people
Yeah.
kind of doing, doing scenes, editing them and just kind of doing it over. So anytime you introduce those like multimedia elements, you introduce something else, it's like, oh, this isn't really like improv comedy as I think about it, but it is improv, with a different
Yeah.
twist to it.
Yeah, just having a
im-
solid conceit. Yeah.
I think it can lead to, because there's a balance, and I think it's ultimately going to be up to taste, but there's a balance between like, is this hacky or is it novel? Is it interesting or is it kind of a crutch? Or I think AI is a tricky one just because it's so in the zeitgeist. I think when AI is used or brought in as like a multimedia, I don't even know if you'd call AI multimedia, but just as an example of something that is not necessarily already in improv that you could use. I think it's so in the zeitgeist that for example can feel kind of hokey, whereas PowerPoints I think are already like kind of ubiquitous, not really
antiquated,
being antiquated in a sense, despite their common prevalence throughout the business world. And so it's just it's.
Well, yeah, because is it because something like being too in the zeitgeist, it just feels like a trend rather than feeling like a natural extension of a performance, or a natural feeling of like this works in the show.
Well, and I will say I've never seen a cell phone used in a way that I liked in improv. I mean, I've seen people get like their suggestions from a cell phone, like, oh, the first text, and I think we used to do that in college as well, and it's funny, it's interesting, but I've never been like, wow, that is what, Matt? What do you got?
Well, I was gonna say we used to do a show that was we would set alarms on our phones.
Who's we?
Me, myself, and I.
Oh no,
You.
I've seen
No.
I've seen this,
and it was a pretty solid thing. So, like, I don't know if it was executed well every time or whatever, but the idea was we set an alarm, and as soon as that alarm went off, we had to divulge a secret that we got from one audience member, and it was really good. Because you'd say, "Give me a secret," and they'd give you a secret. It's like usually it was something like I shit my pants or something, and then it's like you're doing scene work and you're doing your best not to think about that. And then the alarm
was
would
that
go
always
off.
your secret? Was it always the same secret for you?
I think I got that one probably twice.
It's like,
Thank God, too. Yeah.
You're like, It's like,
I did
Matt,
shit my pants.
can you please tell us the real secret? You're like, no, that's it. That's it.
Sure. I have a boner. And they're like, okay. No, but it was they'd give us a time between like 5 or like 1 and 15 or something. And you just put it in, and as soon as it went off, you'd take it out and stop it, and then you'd be like, I have something to tell you. And it would just be like whatever it was, it would just add on top of whatever it was. Sometimes it'd be a hard pivot from what you were doing or whatever. But that's when I feel like it was really good, is when because that's the thing, is it has to be mapped on there really nicely. And the great thing about presentations is like,
it's kind of like built into the ethos of the thing.
Like TED Talks you watch TED Talks based on the person that's presenting, typically, not what they're presenting.
Well,
well, I know, but you're not going to watch like Stephen Hawking's presentation on
Socrates. Socrates is
yeah, that's a much better one than I thought of.
I mean, I think people would watch that though. That's
I mean, actually that would sell like hotcakes.
You're not going to watch Matt Besser talk about
Socrates
quantum theory or some shit,
I mean, I feel like you might, right?
I guess that's the whole reason why Joe Rogan is good.
Well, you keep the problem is you keep naming famous people, and so famous people are going to draw an audience.
All right. How about Matthew Walker? Not me. The sleep
some
scientist.
other guy.
No, there's a sleep scientist named Matthew Walker who actually had who, if you Google my name, it's pretty much like mostly him. It's just super funny. Him and a hockey player, but Matt Walker, the sleep scientist, who you guys have never heard of, talking about video games.
I feel like when you Google my name, it's mostly criminals, which is, unfortunate.
Huh.
Could be a racial bias in Google, though. I don't know.
There's only one other Jeffrey fella on the planet. So.
Really?
And he's a pedophile.
And he's a giraffe.
No and no. I mean, he might be. I don't. Well, okay.
Those kind of went together somehow. That was kind of dark.
He's not a giraffe. I mean, I don't. He's from Ohio.
Those two things are not mutually exclusive.
No, they are not.
What
you can be a giraffe and be from Ohio.
Wait, what? Shoot, I wanted to. Oh, so here's a question. This is a real question, not about the Chaos Emeralds, not about Socrates.
Okay.
Socrates is what?
His penis, Matt.
But it's not about that.
It's not about that.
What do you? I've thought like it'd be cool to involve like a CRT, television set.
Wait, critical race theory?
Yeah, in a show. How would you do that though? Like what would you?
Like, I don't even know what that means.
Like a box set.
A cathode ray television.
I understand there's a TV on stage. What is it doing?
That's what I'm asking.
He just won a TV up there.
He has brought this up so many times, and I don't know what he's asking.
I mean, I've seen. There's plenty of shows that involve a screen, I guess. I don't know why it needs to be a CRT.
Yeah.
So we're in agreement that it'd be kind of cool, huh?
Put a PowerPoint on it. There you go. We can do this damn show. No, you know what? I have been watching a lot of those. What are they called? Pepper's Ghost Images or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be interesting if you got a cathode ray tube big enough to house all three of us on one of those and have it hologrammed.
You could do a thing where it's like, I don't know why this is the thing that comes to my mind, but in the opening of theme park rides where it's like, hey, you guys, you're about to go into like the story part of like an amusement park ride where it's like, Biff just stole the time machine. You gotta go enter inside of this DeLorean model and then follow him into the time stream.
So that was,
you know what I'm talking about?
This is
just a filmed sketch.
Yes,
but no, because then afterwards you do the improv.
No, because that's how it is. Like at Animal Kingdom, if you've ever ridden Countdown to Extinction, there's these CRT CRTs in the corner of the waiting room, and Bill Nye the Science Guy comes on and talks to you about, we got to bring this guy back from the Cretaceous period or whatever it is. It's not Cretaceous, obviously.
The Cretaceous?
That's because that's not a period.
The Cretaceous period is the one where everyone was crabs for a little bit. Everyone was crabs for a second.
But yeah, that was because Matt and I were talking about doing a festival that's like, we were going to have this sort of Disney knockoff Disney theme, and it was going to be that we have this, and it was, I really had this idea where it'd be a similar thing. Well, people wait to walk into the stage, or not the stage, the audience area. They like sit in a room or whatever, and there's TVs, or we wheel out a TV. It's like really low tech. We wheel out a TV, and then it's like, hello, my name is Walt Disney, and I am, and then it blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
So
did we tell you about this at all, Christian? This walrus Disney.
I've heard like I feel like I heard like the murmurings of this like ages ago.
Yeah,
when I was still in Florida, but I don't remember like these details specifically. Saying like new details.
The main thing was that our name Walrus isn't a portmanteau of our names, but it's actually this fictional character, Walrus Disney, short for Walt Disney. And it's Disney because the D is right, looks like a G, whatever.
And so we just say Walt Disney presents this improv festival.
Yeah, and we were like, the goal is to get a cease and desist from Disney, and we're like, oh, okay, we'll change it. And then the other thing was, then we change it to Comedy Central Florida, but it's the same fucking logo just flipped around. That's Comedy Central. The like goal is to get as many cease and desists as possible. Yeah, so we just keep getting marketing and stuff.
The cease and desist. Sure.
And so if this happens, all the cowboys out there, please keep this episode on the down low, because we don't want
we don't want people knowing it was intentional.
Yeah, but then if they're like, oh, we're not going to sue them, it'll give them marketing, then it's like, well, shit, then we can just use the name.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah.
Look, I mean, we can do stuff where we put like Walt Disney, and it's just like a naked man, like standing. So they have to be like, guys, stop, please.
Stop, please.
Please stop.
We have like three circles in the shape of a Mickey, but they're not connected, so it's all
we like call it the Walrus Disney Festival Venn diagram.
Yeah.
It's our mascot is a Venn diagram. What do you think, Vinny? And he comes out
the Venn diagram.
Oh, put him back in his cage. He's angry. Vinny the Venn diagram.
Oh boy.
But basically,
keep this episode. Yeah, don't talk about this episode. Keep this on the down low. Shh. Hush, hush.
Yeah, hush. We'll just go right back into the episode as if we never talked about that.
Legally, this is all a lie. This is all this part. This is a bit. This is
So Socrates, actually, Plato mentions
his dick, his huge dick.
Well, he does in
that would be
Phaedrus.
super,
He talks
that would
about.
be super problematic.
I know.
It's
got a big. It was like in
Wait,
Greek
is that true?
Yeah. Socrates had a big dick, and like that was actually frowned upon.
Isn't that like his teacher though? Like why?
No, well, so okay, because in some of the dialogues, like the nature of love and also sexual love and its relationship with like intellectual pursuit is a very common theme, especially in most famously the Symposium, but also what many people consider the other erotic dialogue, the Phaedrus or Phaedrus, depending on, I guess, how you pronounce it. I should know. I took Greek, but I don't remember how to pronounce it. And so we'll just say Phaedrus for now. And there's a scene where, because I think, there's a scene where Plato's describing like Socrates has a scroll, and it's like the scroll is like, or he's like, oh, is there a scroll under your robe? And it's supposed to be like his penis.
Or are you just happy to see me? Is that a Socrates line?
And then there's like in the Symposium, there's Alcibiades, who's supposed to be kind of young and hot, and like Socrates, he like lays on Socrates, like falls asleep on top of Socrates, and he's like upset because Socrates didn't have sex with him.
Well, who wrote this?
Plato? Famously, it was Plato.
It sounds like those Bible guys got back in the game a little bit.
Wait, so the guys that brought you the Bible.
But why did he bring this up? Like, why did while Plato's talking about like philosophy and other bullshit, why does he bring up? Okay, quick side note.
For
So there's
multiple,
my
because
teacher,
okay,
my
so first of
teacher
all,
saw it.
it reflects like ancient Greek perceptions of sexuality are obviously very different.
Like,
from,
is the format of the
modern-
symposium the same format of this podcast, where they say like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about something, but not really.
But they actually talk about Socrates' dick a lot.
Yeah,
Just like this podcast.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I'd say so. It's not inaccurate.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So
so
Multimedia. Let's back and do some closing.
what do you think of Microsoft
thoughts.
Paint in improv?
It's great. Love
That could
it.
actually be pretty funny.
Yeah, see, I think so
Look,
too.
I have actually. I've seen shows in Los Angeles. There was the Set List Live, which is kind of like the PowerPoint thing, stand-up comedy, but it's based on the jokes are projected. So it's like you turn and it's like whatever, and you come up with something. But there was this other one called Doodle Prov or something, and it was like people would animate live, and it was. I never saw that one, but the guy who did all the art for the Meltdown, I think did that. That was at UCB, I think. But
That's pretty cool. I've never seen an improv show like that, but I have gone to things where you watch artists draw live, like over, what do you call those? Like an Elmo kind of situation or something where you see.
Oh, rotoscope.
Yeah, or you see it projected on, projected what the people are drawing live and stuff, and those usually are pretty interesting.
wait, what was the Elmo thing?
Well, that's what those things are called, like the projectors. Yeah, the ones like you remember in like school
yeah.
where you had like those ones that were a light underneath, and it
it wasn't called Elmo.
Yeah. I wasn't talking about like the "Hi, I'm Elmo." No, I was talking about I was talking about.
Okay, now
again,
do with the projector sound. Do the projector's voice.
As you can see, I'm Elmo. I'm a projector.
So they sound identical. I don't. You could have chosen anything. I mean,
Well, but they look different though. So, but they sound very similar. And then I know there's like a few like YouTube series too where like they draw, and it's like a thing and people talk over it, and that's fun.
That one was
like
cool.
Mr. Beast.
I don't know what Mr. Beast does. I've heard about the guy.
Blind.
Never seen a video about him.
He's an ophthalmologist, Christian. He's a viral ophthalmologist.
And he makes weird faces,
not in a good way,
though, in his thumbnails about him curing the blind. I can't.
I would say though, I think bringing on multimedia kind of stuff into this is like, it's always interesting, but it does most of the time fall flat when I see it. But it's usually because it's not hyper well thought out, which is not something that us improvisers do very often.
Right.
Yeah.
So it takes like a comedian to actually enact it typically.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
The multimedia element is almost like
you have to plan.
scripted in essence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like anytime to even apply it more generally, I feel like anytime you introduce any sort of gimmick into a show, in any sort of way, like a show that has any sort of thing, if you don't put in effort and energy into it, it's going to come off as kind of like cringe and not well executed.
You mentioned gimmicks. Like, what do you think about spiders?
What do I think about spiders?
Like, if you introduce spiders into a show.
I mean, it could be a good show, but if all it is just a spider chilling there.
Plural.
Oh, yeah, all it is just the spiders chilling there.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be just weird. It's gonna be a weird show.
So you're not into it?
Spiders?
Yeah, you're not into working through that?
Working with spiders?
Just working through that idea?
Sure, yeah. So in your mind, how many spiders?
Okay, Jeff, that it sounds like he's game to do this at Sarasota.
Well, see, this is the problem. Is like as you said, like improvisers, we don't think through the details of it. So how many spiders are we talking? We got to put this in the budget. That's the thing.
12,000.
Anytime you introduce some shit, you
No,
know,
no,
it's
no,
budget.
no
We're
budget.
talking
Christian,
budget.
we have an exact number.
No budget. Yeah.
So you have 12,000 spiders.
There's no reason
You already
we
have
shouldn't be able
12,000
to get
spiders.
12,000, not
God.
1,200, 12,000
Christian.
spiders by the festival.
Don't close down.
I'm not closing down. I'm saying that we need to execute. If we're talking 12,000 spiders, okay, but 12,000, but we're gonna pay them. We pay performers. Okay, that's a whole thing we've talked about for years. It's always the goal to pay performers. And so if we're introducing 12,000 spiders, how much are they getting paid? How much are they getting paid?
They're getting paid a penny, which is a lot for a spider.
It's a relative thing, Christian. This is business. It's supply and demand. A penny is.
Okay, a penny
for a spider is
penny for a spider. So there's 12,000 spiders.
12,000.
How many dollars is that?
That's $120.
$20. Okay,
yeah.
That's our most expensive show we've ever produced.
It's all. I have my pile of $120 in pennies right over here. Jeff and I are planning on going camping and collecting the spiders and reaching out and getting.
Now it's recruitment. Now we're talking recruitment, and that's a whole other thing. I thought you had these spiders on retainer already.
No, but it's
they're not on retainer.
This is how it kind of works. Like you need to get the go ahead before, because what comes first? You get the go ahead, or you get the crew together. You know,
what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Like what comes first, like A or Z? What
comes first, 1, 2, or 3?
What comes first, like the color red or the color blue?
Right.
What comes first in this scenario? A lower number or a higher number?
I'm just saying I don't want to be in a position where it's the day of the show and we only have 600 spiders and suddenly it's, we couldn't get enough spiders to sign up. They were negotiating. They didn't want a penny. They wanted 2 pennies.
When have Jeff and I ever not gone through with an idea as extravagant as this?
Well, there was that one time.
Yeah, but that's different.
So in the edit of this podcast, we're now going to cut to a montage of all the times that has happened. And it's gonna be set to that song where it's like, we've only just begun.
Yeah, so wait, let's do the voices for that quick. So for some of the first scenes, so we'll do like so I'll just kick it off for some of the voices for that montage. I didn't think this would happen like this. Matt, can you give some voice?
I didn't think that this thing would happen like this.
Yeah. It's funny that actually now that I think about it, this is going to be a lot of multimedia introduced into this improv podcast. Huh. I guess when you think about it.
Is that a flashback?
It's all connected, It's really all.
God, I'm going to have to do so much editing.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do a doodle-doo-doo-doo-doo.
But editing?
Flashback, flash forward, montage music.
Editing, that's multimedia.
It's just sound.
Hey, you're right.
But that's a lot of media,
Trees are multimedia.
I think
multimedia.
I think maybe we should make a podcast,
Yeah.
We'll call
Chaos
it
Emeralds.
Call Little Bits and Pieces, and it'll be this is still part of the flashback.
Oh, okay, sorry.
This is the day before we made the podcast.
So
and,
now
in my canon, I
forward.
I pitched.
No, he's in the flashback still. Matt, shut up.
So this entire episode is going to be Memento style. So I need you to edit this into like 30-second clips, and then we will reverse
it around.
Yeah, we'll flip it around.
Is that what you have writing all over your body?
Yeah.
We didn't okay this bit. You did that before we even said anything.
There's writing all over my body. In fact, this writing right here says, thanks for all you cowboys for coming out and listening to another episode's Little Bits and Pieces.
Oh my God. What's that other one say?
This one here says, don't forget to follow us on anywhere you get your podcasts. Don't forget Minions Say Banana. Check out the merch store.
Jeff, what's that one on his forehead say?
Come.
Yeah, that's what that one says. Don't ask me, 'cause it's easy to forget. Sometimes you gotta remember. And this one says, stay tuned for next week for another episode of Little Bits and Pieces. Just a little sample of what to expect next week. It's gonna be pretty high octane, and if you listen, you're gonna get why that's funny. Anyway, see you around.
Yeah, boy. Bye.
Hi, I'm Christian Torres from Walrus. If you're interested in supporting this show, the best thing that you can do is rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure to check out walrus.com, that's WALLARES, for a full list of our socials, including Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stay tuned for news about any live shows that we may have, and new episodes of Little Bits and Pieces come out every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts.
The show you've just listened to is a part of the Podfix Network. To listen to other shows on the network, head over to podfixnetwork.com, follow on Twitter @Podfix, and join the Podfix Nation at facebook.com/Podfix.